So, like the previous day, like the yesterday, actually, you know that your paper code is BSM 101, your subject is Mathematics 1, and your stream, there are electrical engineering and mechanical engineering students both in this classroom. And our topic, like the previous class, and which is the mean value theorem, some of students attended this class, and so they will help me to continue our topic. So in the mean value theorem, there are basically two theorems. One is Rolle's theorem and another is what? Tell me, what is the another theorem?
Lagrange theorem.
This is the Lagrange's mean value theorem. So there are two theorems in our syllabus. One is Rolle's theorem and another is Lagrange's mean value theorem. This is the second term. Lagrange's, this is Lagrange's mean value theorem. So these two theorems we have to cover to complete the part of the syllabus. So what is the statement of the Rolle's theorem? I already said that in the previous class. So just observe that statement. Here it is state that f of x be a real valued function. Okay, just observe the terminology. First of all, f of x is a real valued function. And in the closed interval, where? In the closed interval AB. And such that f of x is continuous on the closed interval AB. So there are also two terms which you have to explain. One is continuity and where? In the closed interval AB. That means continuity in the closed interval AB. So fx is a real valued function on the interval AB and such that fx is continuous on the closed interval AB. And then f of x is derivable in the open interval AB. यानी कि continuous है in the closed interval and derivable है in the open interval AB. And the third condition is functional value at the point A and functional value at the point B is equal. If a real valued function satisfies these three conditions, then we can say that it satisfies all the conditions required to satisfy the Rolle's theorem. Then, if these three conditions hold, then we can say, that means the Rolle's theorem says that there exists at least one value of x, at least one value, not necessarily just only one value. There exists at least one value of x, which says c in the open interval AB and such that f dash c will be 0. That means derivative at that point will be 0. So there are some terms which you have to explain. So first of all, someone explain me the term what is real valued function and give one example of function which is not real valued. Please someone tell me. Everyone, please put it in your mind that there is continuous assessment and every response will be valuable in the live classroom and also for the response जो Google form में आएगा in that case also. So just interact in the classroom. That's why I can identify you and I can give marks to you that you are responsive in the classroom, you want to know something. Is it clear? If you know that real valued function, tell me. If you don't know, then tell me that sir, I don't know what is real valued function. Explain me what is real valued function. If you don't give any response, then I will assume that you know everything. Then it is difficult for me to understand which type of students are there in the classroom.
Sir,
is it clear?
Is it a
Yes.
subset of all real numbers? Real valued function is a
First
subset of all real numbers.
So which is a subset of? A function can never be a subset of a real number. Okay.
Okay.
I think someone tried to join 1 minute. This is 24. I'm allowed for, and after that I will not allow anyone to join that classroom. Okay. So first of all,
Sir?
what is yes. Tell me.
Real valued functions are whose values are real numbers.
Exam. Whose values are real number. That means the range set is subset of real number. Someone tells na? The subset of real number. That means the range of the function is a subset of real number. Now, can you define a function which is not a real valued function? That means which can give complex value or any other values? Can you define some function? Okay. So first of all, function is a way. Function is a rule. Suppose function, this is called the domain set. This is the domain set, and this is another set, and this is the
voice is cracking.
सर आवाज नहीं आ रहा है.
I think it's for the network problem. Just stay 1 or 2 minutes, and I think it will solve. Is it now coming?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
better.
actually, network issue तो हो ही जाता है क्लास में. So, for a function, actually there is a domain and there is codomain. From the domain, function picks some values, and the codomain function gives some values. So, suppose we define f equal to 2x square plus 5 here, and if we give value 2 here, that means this rule will take the 2 and gives you the value what? Gives you the value 2 into 2 square plus 5 in that one. That means 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and 8 plus 5 is equal to 13. So corresponding to 2, this rule will give you 13. Similarly, if you give 0 here, then this rule will give you 0, 2 into 0 square plus 5, that means 5. Okay. So this is a function. That means function is a rule which actually takes some values from the domain and gives some values to the codomain. Now, this domain, you can see that this is a subset of real number, and also the codomain is always a subset of real number, and this type of function is actually called a real valued function. Now, what happened if we create this function? That means we take the domain as real, but we define the rule in this way that f of x is equal to root under x square minus 4. Okay, and suppose this is your codomain, and I say that codomain is also real number. I say that codomain is also real number. Now you can see that if this function takes 0 from here, suppose this function picks 0 from the domain, then what it will give? What it will give?
2
f of 0 is equal to root under 0 minus 4. That means root under minus 4 na. And what is the value of that? Root under minus 4.
Sir, plus minus 2.
No, not plus minus.
2.
Actually, root is a general root is a positive value function. Never plus minus. Plus minus is the obviously this is 2 iota. Okay.
Sir, complex number.
Actually, this is a complex number. Sure, this is a complex number, not a real number.
Imaginary number.
Okay. So that means this function takes some real values and gives some complex value, but it is not possible because our codomain is a real number. So that means for this 0, or suppose for this 1, whenever this function takes 1, it will give 1 square minus 4, yani ki 1 minus 3. So root of minus 3, yani ki minus root 3 of iota. So this type of values coming in your range set. So it is not possible. That means this is not a real valued function in the domain R. So here it is given that f of x is a real valued function. That means the value come obviously a real value for that interval AB. यानी कि A से B में जो भी वैल्यू लेगा वो फंक्शन का क्या देगा? एक रियल वैल्यू ही देगा, हमेशा रियल वैल्यू. This type of value will not come. So this is called, but that means this is not a function from R to R. This is a function from R to complex number. R to complex number, but this is not a function from R to C. But if you actually exclude some point, then you can define this as a function, and this is a different topic. But is that clear? What is the difference between the real valued function and the not a real valued function? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Then
sir.
we comes to the closed interval. Now someone tell me what is the closed interval? What do you mean by closed interval? What do you mean by the closed interval? Akash Das, can you hear me? Akash Das, please unmute your mic.
Yes, sir.
Okay, try to join in between 10 minutes of commencement of the class. Otherwise, on the next day, I will not allow you to join. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Try to join in between 10 minutes. Okay, this is not a cinema hall. This is a classroom. 5 minutes, I have joined 5 to 6 minutes earlier in this classroom. And I have waited for 10 minutes to joining the pupils. And I have allowed up to 15 minutes. Today, I am allowing you. But from the next day, I will not allow you. I will not allow anyone to join that class. Because it will create disturbance for everyone presented in this classroom. You can see that. So,
স্যার স্যার
yes,
এখানে স্যার ক্লোজ ইন্টারভ্যাল মানে কি স্যার এটা রেঞ্জ ক্লোজ মানে ক্লোজ ইন্টারভ্যালে যেটা আছে
actually,
মানে এ থেকে বি পর্যন্ত
close interval means it will take every value between
Sir, close interval.
close interval means it will take
Sir, your
every
voice
value.
is not clear.
Okay. Is everyone face that problem?
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yes, sir.
yes sir your voice is broken. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think someone may face network problem and that's why my voice is not coming. Okay. If and this is with everyone, then obviously my network will give some delay, I think. So there is not a good connections in our college. Obviously, I am using my mobile network to conduct that class. So this may happen. So you tell me and I will wait sometimes and then I will continue. And so,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Continue.
Okay,
Yes, sir,
so
continue,
actually
continue.
this is a closed interval. Closed interval means it will take every values between A to B, including A and B. Closed means it will take every value. That means in between A to B, ये तो हर एक value लेगा ही. Also, it will take the point A and B value. It is called the closed nature. And whenever I say that this is an open interval like this is an open interval, this is an open interval. That means it will take just after A and it will take value just before B. And again, excluding the point A and B, this is the called openness. So openness means it will exclude the point A and B without A and B, just after A. यानी कि पॉइंट अगर जीरो होगा so it will exclude the zero and it will take from the 0.00000001 और जो भी जीरो दे सकते हो यानी कि just after the point zero and now we can define that point. Actually, I want to say that it will exclude the point 0 and 1 for the open interval 0, 1, 1. And here closed interval AB means it will include the point A and B, include the end point. And open means it will exclude the end point. End point नहीं रहेगा AB में. Is that clear?
Sir, open টা আরেকবার বলবেন?
Open means यहाँ पर A और B पॉइंट को हम एक्सक्लूड कर देंगे. ये पॉइंट नहीं है A और B में, ठीक है. ओपन का मतलब इंटरवल में A और B नहीं है, यानी कि हम अगर ये बोला है कि ओपन इंटरवल 0, 1, that means in this interval there is no 0 and there is no 1, यानी कि 0 के ठीक बाद से है और 1 के ठीक आगे तक है, ठीक आगे तक. तो just before 1 we can't define that because someone can tell 0.99 and someone can say again put 9 here, again put some 9 here. Actually it is tending to 1. That means x tending to 1 but not x just equal to 1. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Is that clear? So this is the openness. And our next term is f of A is equal to f of B, and it is very easy. You know that. That means functional value at the point A and functional value at the point B. Just put A and B here like this term. So here f of 0 means just put the value at the function and you will get that. and here this is f of 2, and for 5 this is f of 0. That means just put the point at the function and you will get the functional value. So Rolle's theorem says that if these 3 points holds good, अगर satisfy हो गया, so then there exists at least one value of x से c, एक तो वैल्यू c रहेगा इन बिटवीन दिस ओपन इंटरवल ए बी, यानी कि ए और बी के बीच में कोई जगह, यहाँ पर भी हो सकता है, यहाँ भी हो सकता है, बट इन बिटवीन दिस इंटरवल ए एंड बी देयर exists some point c for which f dash c will be 0, कोई एक पॉइंट में f dash c 0 होगा. ओके, now we explain how to check the continuity differentiability at a point. Okay, so if there is anyone who want to help me, can help to define that terms. How to define continuity at a point? Tell me. Continuity at a point. At a point x equal to f. How to check that?
सर एट फर्स्ट तो x टेंस टू 0 प्लस पे एक लेंगे, जो राइट हैंड साइड होगा, और एक x इज इक्वल टू a माइनस पे लेंगे और 0 माइनस पे लेंगे जो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड होगा.
Limit extended to a minus left hand side limit of f is equal to what? Functional value. At the functional value. So if this condition holds, then we can say that this is a continuous function. That means if we define function f of x equal to, suppose x square in between the interval 0 less than x less than 1 and 2x plus 1 in the interval 1 less than or equal to x and less than 2. If we define this type of function, so now you can easily say that if f of 1 plus, एक के right side नहीं ना, this is suppose 1, so at the right side of 1 the function is in this nature. In which nature? x plus 1. And in the left side of 1 from 0 to 1 this function is of nature x square. Okay? So now whenever you try to find the limit from the right hand side f of 1 plus, actually you will get 2x plus 1 at the point what? X equal to 1. यही तो आएगा. That means 2 plus 1 what? 3. But whenever you try to find f of 1 minus is equal to x square, 1 minus this on the left side of the 1. That means it will give you x square at the point x equal to 1. That means this is 1 square equal to 1. So you can see that your right hand limit and left hand limit are different, and which is not preferable actually or allowable in terms of continuity. So that means continuity breaks here. So there is a discontinuity at the point x equal to a, x equal to 1. So if this type of problem occurs in your checking, so suppose you check the Rolle theorem in between the interval 0 to 2 and you see that there is 1.1 in which there is a problem of continuity. That means at the point 1 this function is not continuous, actually this will not satisfy the Rolle's theorem. So that's the point I want to say. That means whenever it is asked that a function satisfies, is a function satisfies Rolle's theorem, then you have to check the continuity at every point of that interval. If there is any one point in between the interval in which the continuity failed, then this function will not satisfy the Rolle's theorem, and that's the way how you can check the continuity at a point. Next, the second point is differentiability at a point. Differentiability at a point is equal to a. At a point, now help me to find out that is the differentiability at a point is equal to a. How we can define that? So differentiability at a point actually means the rate of change of the curve at that point. That means the tangent, slope of the tangent at that point. So left hand derivative, suppose f dash plus, this is right hand derivative, and which is defined by limit extending to a plus f of x minus f of a by x minus a. Okay, is it right? F dash a plus.
Yes, sir.
That means it is the rate of change of the function at the right side of a, and at the left side of the a, f dash a minus, this is limit of extending to a minus, similar thing, f of x minus f by x minus a. In the numerator part, actually this is the change of the function, and in the denominator, this is the change of the x value, independent variable. And actually this ratio is the rate of change of the function with respect to the x. And in what point? At the point x equal to a. That means the function is differentiable. The function is differentiable from the right side and differentiable from the left side, differentiable. But if function is differentiable at the point x equal to a, if these two limits are equal, I mean x f dash of a of plus equal to f dash of a minus, if these two limits are equal, then we can say that f dash a exists, and equal to this limit extend to a, f of x minus f of a by x minus a. So this is the way how we can define the differentiability of a particular point. There are so many functions which are not differentiable in a particular point, like I already discussed, like the function f of x is equal to what? Mod of x. Huh? This is not differentiable at the point what? Not differentiable at the point x equal to, in which point this function is not differentiable?
A.
In which point f of x equal to mod of x is not differentiable? In which point f of x equal to mod of x minus 4 is not differentiable? Chalo, bolo ye wala. In which point this function are not differentiable?
0.
So first function is at x equal to 0. And for second function?
0.
Not.
0.
-1.
X equal to 4. At the point x equal to 4, in which this is equal to 0. X minus 4 is equal to 0. This is the origin of that curve actually. So if we draw that function, so you can easily understood that. Just 1 minute, I'm adding some pages and then we start 1 and 2 pages or slide. Okay. Okay. Someone try to join. Join nahi karenge, just go. Then, okay. So if we draw the curve of that function, and which is actually if yes.
So please show the previous page again.
Previous page. Okay. Previous page.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, actually, I will share everything with you. If you take the screenshot, then it is not required. Okay, I will share everything with everyone. But if you did not understand something, then you can show. There is no need to take any snapshot of that. So we take f of x equal to mod of x function. No? And suppose in the interval -1 to 1 for checking the Rolle's theorem. So the graph of the function is in this way. Is in not very difficult to have some straight line here. So this is the graph of the function. F of x is equal to mod of x. Suppose this is 1 and this is the point -1 and this is the point 0. This is the x-axis. This is graph of the function. Now from the curve, you can easily see that this is a continuous function. There is no break, na? This is a continuous function because there is no break. You can draw the line without picking your pen from this board. That means this is a continuous curve, there is no break. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, geometrically not differentiable means geometrically not differentiable means there is some sharp corner. That means there is some sharp corner at the graph. That means if the graph is in this way, all the bending are smooth, then this is differentiable everywhere, like the sine function or like the cos function, or like the x square function is in this way, or like the x function is in this way. These are the curve. So these all functions are differentiable everywhere. But if this type of function occur, one sharp corner, then suppose move corner, this type of function. So in these 2 points, there are sharp corner and the function will fail here for the differentiability. These points will fail for the differentiability. Actually, in this problem, the problem occurs like the modulus function. In the modulus function, in this point, there is a sharp bending at the point x equal to 0. So that's why this function is not differentiable at the point 0. And if you analytically find that, not graphically, f of x equal to what? If you expand this modulus function x, na? When x greater than 0 and minus x when x less than 0 and 0 when x equal to 0. Okay, so that means if you find the value of f dash x here, that means you have f dash x equal to 1 when x equal to x greater than 0 and minus 1 when x what? Less than 0. That means your right hand derivative f dash a plus, and where our checking point a is equal to 0, f dash 0 plus will be 1. And what about your f dash 0 minus? 0 minus will be minus 1. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
That means this is the right hand derivative and this is the left hand derivative, and these two are different. And if these two are different, that means your function is failed to differentiate at that point. So that means f dash 0 plus not equal to f prime of 0 minus here. So f of x is not differentiable at x equal to 0. So it is the problem. And if you take x minus 4, if you take here f of x equal to modulus of x minus 4, second function I have given, f of x minus 4. Actually, x minus 4 means just like the same function, only the origin is at x minus 4, 0. That means in which point? X equal to 4 point. This is the origin of the function. That means this is 1. So functional curve will look like that. This is 0 and this is 4. This is suppose 0. So your curve will be in this way. There is a bending, sharp bending is at the point 4. But obviously there is a sharp bending. That's why this modulus type of function is always fail to differentiate at the point x equal to the origin. जो origin होगा वहां पर हमेशा fail करेगा differentiability. So that's why modulus type, if it is asked that verify the function for the Rolle's theorem and it is given that the function is a modulus type function, then you have to check the differentiability, and obviously it will fail at that point. Okay, so now if there is no doubt, then we can go to our next slide. Is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Who have doubt? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No.
Okay, so then we comes to in the Rolle's theorem. Okay, just see the previous slide. In the Rolle's theorem, there is another one term, and which is this term, na? F dash c is equal to 0. Now we have to understand clearly the geometric interpretation of f dash c is equal to 0. What is that mean by f dash c is equal to 0? I already discussed that in the classroom. Is there anyone who will help me to clarify that to others? what did you mean by f dash c is equal to 0? And it is at some point between the interval AB. That means in between this closed interval AB, it says that there is some point C
Sir,
at
if C
f dash c is equal to 0. Yes, tell.
স্যার মানে এফ ড্যাশ সি একটা স্যার বিন্দু নিতে হবে মানে সেখান
বিন্দু
থেকে একটা
নিতে হবে না,
যদি একটা
অ্যাকচুয়ালি
স্লোপ টানি
বিন্দু নিতে হবে না,
মানে
বাই
একটা
দ্য
পয়েন্ট
রোল।
মানে একটা
দেখো,
পয়েন্ট
হ্যাঁ আগে
মানে
শোনো ভাই, আগে
পয়েন্ট
শোনো কি বলছি আমি, তারপর বলো। বাই দ্য रोल्स थ्योरम यू विल गेट सम पॉइंट, कोई बिंदु नीते ना, कोई बिंदु लेना नहीं होगा, यू विल गेट सम पॉइंट सी, एक पॉइंट आएगा जिस पॉइंट में एफ डैश सी का डेरिवेटिव का वैल्यू क्या होगा, 0 होगा। तो अब इसका सिग्निफिकेंस बोलो, व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दैट, बोलो।
Tangent is parallel to x-axis.
Yes, that means at that point the tangent is parallel to x-axis. Now once again another terms arise there. What is the tangent? So tangent means, suppose you are spinning some particles and around a point. So that means if you use suppose this is the spinning way, this is the spinning way, okay, और अगर यहां से छोड़ देते हो, ओके, सपोज आप यहां से छोड़ दिया इस, तो ये कौन डायरेक्शन में जाएगा, ये इस तरफ से जाएगा, ओके, इफ यू लेफ्ट दैट हियर then it will go through this direction, and if you left that here it will go through this direction, and in this, if you left that here it will go through this direction, and if you left that here it will go through this direction. You already learned that in your physics. Now this is called the tangent to a curve, tangent, and this is always perpendicular to the normal of the curve. So in the Rolle's theorem it says that in between that A and B there is some point C, and in this point C the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. So here we take that this is the value of suppose f of a, and suppose this is the value of f of b, and suppose this is the function in this interval, this is the function. So if you draw the tangent in every point of that function, so this is the tangent here, this is the tangent here, this is the tangent make here. So here you can take some tangent in this way, and in this point the tangent is in this way, similarly in this point tangent is in this way. So these are the tangent to the curve, and now dy dx, like a derivative at the point x equal to c, and which is defined by f dash c, actually geometrically mean the slope of the tangent. Actually this is slope of the tangent drawn to the curve at what point, at x equal to c. तो x equal to c में जो tangent draw करेंगे उसका जो slope, and slope means, what is the slope? You know that from the straight line slope means m divided by m, and which is equal to what, tan theta. Is there anyone who did not know that? What is slope? I think everyone know that. What is slope? Slope, which is m is equal to tan theta, and theta is the inclination of the line with the x-axis. That means here if you draw some parallel lines here, just if we change, suppose if you draw some parallel lines here, x-axis, so this angle is your theta. If you draw a parallel line here, so this angle is your theta. So these are the theta angle, and the tan of, suppose this theta is 60 degree, then tan 60 degree, this is the slope. Here suppose this is 45 degree, then tan 45 degree, this is the slope. And here at particularly this point you can see that it is parallel to the x-axis itself. The curve, the tangent is itself parallel to the x-axis. That means here your inclination will be what?
0.
Zero. That means this is tan 0. So that is the actual significance here. So f dash c 0, that means the slope of the tangent made here, that means tan of theta will be 0, and which is at the value tan 0, that means your theta will be 0, and theta 0 means your tangent will be the parallel to the x-axis. Tangent is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, so this is the actual geometric interpretation of the Rolle's theorem. That means there exists some points A, some point C in between that A and B, in which the tangent drawn at the curve is parallel to the x-axis. But Rolle's theorem says that you get at least 1 point, but not necessary that it is only 1 point. You can see that this function at that point there is also one line. You can draw one line here. This is also parallel to the x-axis. If you draw that at that point, this is also parallel to the x-axis. So this is also a point. Suppose this is C1. This is C1 and this is C2. You can get 2 points in these 2 points, and we take that point as a C1, and we. So this is one point C1 and this is another point C2, and for these 2 points, f dash of C1 is equal to 0, and also f dash of C2 will be 0 for these 2 points, not only for the 1 point. So whenever it is asked that derivative at a particular point is equal to 0, that means actually it means that the tangent drawn at that point is parallel to the x-axis. And if it says that f dash a is equal to something 1, f dash a is equal to 1, that means what is f dash a? Tan theta 1. Am I right?
So theta is equal to pi by 4.
Theta is equal to pi by 4. That means the tangent drawn at the
Yes,
point makes the angle pi by 4 with the x-axis. That means इस तरह का curve होगा. That means if this is the tangent, so it will make a angle pi by 4 with the parallel to the x-axis. So this is the geometric interpretation of the derivative. तो ये derivative का geometric interpretation है. Now, if we comes to the geometric interpretation of the Rolle's theorem, and which is very important question for your final exam also. What is the geometric interpretation of Rolle's theorem? This type of questions may come in your exams. So please read that carefully, and I think after the previous discussion, you can understand these lines. Okay. कहाँ से गए? See that. तो ये तो जो राइटिंग है, इसके साथ तो पिक्चर चाहिए, पिक्चर देना होगा. So it is given that f of x is a real valued function defined on the closed interval. Means what happened? So that means in this way, suppose this is your f of x, and this is y, and this is suppose 0, and this is the x interval, and this is a and b, and it is given that f of x is a continuous curve in the closed interval AB, in which the functional value at a, and suppose this point, what is that? This is f of a, and this is what? F of b. This is f of b, f of a and f of b, and it is given that, so f of x is continuous curve between the point, this point is capital A, and the coordinate is a and small of f of a. This is the y coordinate, and this is the point B, and which is b and small f of b, and b. In between these 2 points, the curve is continuous. That means there is no cut in between these 2 points, and it is possible. So first condition, continuity given here. Second, it is possible to draw a unique tangent at every point. That means the function is differentiable there. Unique tangent. Suppose mod x में क्या होगा? If you take the mod x function, so this is the curve. Now, if you going to draw the tangent at the left hand side, it will be in this way. And if you want to draw the tangent at the right hand side, it will be in this way. That means at the left hand side, this is the tangent. That means this is f dash a minus 0 minus, and actually this is f dash 0 plus. Then again, left hand or right hand का जो tangent है, these two is not unique. But if the derivative exists, then there will be a unique tangent for every point on that open interval AB. So it is here given that it is possible to draw a unique tangent at every point on the curve in between this point A and in between this point B. Also, so this is the second point, and the third point is the ordinates at the end points of the interval AB are equal. That means this is the ordinates, fa and fb are equal. This is given. Fa is equal to fb. This is also given. So now every condition of the Rolle's theorem is satisfied. Now it is given that then there exists at least one point CFC, मतलब कि एक पॉइंट सी ऐसा होगा ये इस इंटरवल में सी, एंड एक पॉइंट सी एफ सी यहाँ पर आएगा, सी एंड आंसर इज एट दैट पॉइंट एफ सी in which the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. So this is the tangent and which is parallel to the x-axis. Okay, is that clear now?
আরেকবার বলে দিন এটা।
That means in between that A and B, यानी कि A और B के बीच में एक पॉइंट ऐसा आएगा, एक पॉइंट तो आएगा ही जहां पर वो उसका जो टेंजेंट जब ड्रॉ करोगे, whenever you draw the tangent, actually it will parallel to the x-axis. This is the x-axis and this is parallel to the x-axis. That means actually f dash c will be 0. Right? Tangent parallel to x-axis means f dash c will be 0. Okay, but it is not necessary that you only get one point. It may occur that there is more than one point in which the functional value, derivative value will be 0. Suppose f of b same, but the function looks like that. Function looks like this. Okay, now you can see that in this function f of fb equal, this is a continuous function and this is also differentiable function because there is no sharp corner. But actually here you will get more than one point in which your f dash will be 0. There is one point, there is one point, and there is another point, and there is another point. There are actually 4 points there. So you can take that as C1, you can take this point as C2, and you can take this point as C3, and you can take this point as C4. Okay? So there are not only one point, there are 4 points in which the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. So more than one point may possible. But Rolle's theorem states that at least one point will be there. एक तो रहेगा ही रहेगा, उससे ज्यादा भी हो सकता है. Okay? So is there any doubt in the previous discussion? Okay. So now,
ঠিক আছে।
okay, now we comes to discuss the how we can check or some continuity and differentiability of some function. So I state some function for which you can directly state the continuity and differentiability. So first of all, if this type of function is given, f of x is equal to a0 plus a1 of x plus a1 of x square, and in this way suppose a of n x to the power n, I given a1 to everyone. This is not a1, this is a2, na? a2 of x square, and then this is an x to the power what? N. Right? So a0, a1x, a2 x square, an x to the power n. And which type of function is that? Which type of function is it called? This is polynomial function, na? This is called polynomial type function. That means in our math, this type of function, if f of x equal to square plus 5x plus 3, or maybe x to the power 5 plus 3x to the power 4 plus 4x plus 2, this type of function, or also this also. This is also a polynomial function, 1. Because there is no term of x, there is only a1 and a1 is equal to 1. So constant function is also a polynomial function. So this type of function are called the polynomial function. Next we come to the another function which is f of x equal to a to the power x while a greater than 0. Suppose this type of function is given, a to the power x. So this is called which type of function? Exponential function, na? This is exponential function, and this is general exponential function, and this is a particular exponential function e to the power x. This is also exponential function, and this is the general exponential function. So it is polynomial, it is exponential. Then we comes to the f of x is equal to sine of x function, which is trigonometric function, and then f of x equal to cos of x, which is also a trigonometric function. And for these 4 functions, these functions are everywhere continuous. Okay, these functions are everywhere continuous and differentiable. Is that clear? तो अगर इस तरह का फंक्शन आ गया तो कोई चेक करने का जरूरत नहीं, देयर इज नो नीड टू चेक इज दैट कंटिन्यूअस और नॉट। इफ polynomial function will occur or exponential or sin of x or cos of x, you can directly write down that this is a polynomial function, so it is continuous. This is a exponential function, so it is continuous in every interval. This is sin x, so it is continuous in each interval. आप इस तरह से लिख सकते हो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, ठीक है? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So only
Okay,
this
okay.
function are continuous and differential everywhere in the real line. Everywhere means everywhere in the real line. And then we comes to some another function which will actually continuous and differential in their own domain, not in the whole real number. And in which the first function is very popular function, which is the logarithmic function log of x. Now, can someone tell me what is the domain of the logarithmic function? What is the domain of the logarithmic function?
No, sir, I don't know.
Actually, this is the graph of the logarithmic function. You can get some idea from here. This is the graph of the logarithmic function. That means there is no function before the point 0. यानी कि 0 के आगे देखो
So,
फंक्शन का कोई
real
वैल्यू नहीं।
number greater than 0.
एकदम, that means for x, this is always given that x always greater than 0. That means log of x is defined in the domain open interval 0 to infinity, यानी कि 0 से बाद से लेकर इंफिनिटी तक कोई भी पॉइंट में log x डिफाइन हो, up to 0, from 0 to infinity तक. But this function will not exist at the point 0 or at the point before 0. Some of the students try to join at that time. Okay, and I think those students are the most irresponsible student, and for our upcoming offline class also. They're already, the link is posted, I think 3 hours or 4 hours ago. I think 3 hours ago. And they are not ready yet to join the class. So this is f of x equal to log of x function, and then f of x is equal to another function is there, and what is the function? Is equal to suppose tan of x cos of x type of function. Suppose tan of x, f of x equal to tan of x is a function. For the tan of x, what is the domain of the function of the x, f of x equal to tan of x? Actual, हाँ बोलो.
Is greater than 0. X greater than 0.
X greater than 0, but actually not like that. देखो tan x कब डिफाइन होगा कब नहीं होगा, यही तो है डोमेन. So actually tan x means what?
हाँ.
Sin x by cos x.
हाँ.
That means the problematic region is whenever cos x equal to 0. This is the problematic region, na? Cos x equal to 0. Because whenever the denominator 0, your function will not exist. So the point for which the cos of x is equal to 0 is means cos of what? 12 plus 1 in pi by 2. This is the point, na?
2.
2n plus 1 pi by 2. This is the point in which cos x 0. So that means if we exclude this point from the domain of from the real number, then this function is defined. That means domain of the function is the real number, and we exclude the point 2n plus 1 into what? Pi by 2. यानी कि उन सारे पॉइंट को हम एलिमिनेट कर रहे हैं जहां पर cos x 0 है. तो ये सारा पॉइंट अगर चला गया तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं रहेगी. There is no problematic point. So this is the domain of the tan function. Similarly, if you take the cot of x function, your domain, okay, if someone try to writing in the chat box your problem, so one thing, I am now in the full screen mode, okay, I can view anything in your chat mode, so you can tell me what's your problem. So here f of x equal to cot of x, so cot of x means what? Cos x by sin x, right? That means the point in which sin x equal to 0, and you have to discard that point. Sin x 0 means sin of what? In pi. इस सारा पॉइंट में sin 0 होता है. दैट मीन्स योर एक्स विल बी एन पाई, तो इन सारे पॉइंट को छोड़ दो, यहां से बाहर दो, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. देन आर एंड वी एक्सक्लूड द पॉइंट एन पाई and then there is no problematic point, and this is the region of the or the domain of this function. And similarly, not only for the tan function, there is a similar function which is what, sec function. Sec x का भी यही तो एक होगा, 1 by cos,
1 by
that means the same domain.
1 by cos.
And similarly there are sin of x and not sin, this is cosec of x, this is cosec of x, and which of the same domain of the cot x. So these are the function which are
স্যার তাহলে কি
continuous.
সবকটা ট্রিগোনোমেট্রিক ফাংশনে কি স্যার রিয়েল নাম্বার সেট হবে স্যার?
না বলছি না তো, হয় সবকটা trigonometric function actually দেখো, for sin of x cos of x they are everywhere continuous, okay? They are everywhere, but tan x sec x is continuous on that interval only, not everywhere. Cot x cosec x is continuous and differentiable in that interval, okay, only in this interval. यानी कि अगर इस तरह का प्रॉब्लम दे रहा है, सपोज जस्ट 1 minute, आई एम गेटिंग वन पेज here to clarify that, and I think I have left one pages here. Okay, I will clarify that. Suppose you take that f of x equal to tan of x, you take that f of x equal to tan of x, and you take the interval minus pi to pi. Okay, you take that interval minus pi to pi to check the Rolle's theorem. Now you can see that in between this minus pi there are points. So देखो यहाँ पर क्या है, this is cos x by sin of x. Okay, so there are points.
Yes, sir.
Sin x by cos.
Minus pi, there are point minus pi, there are point 0 or sin of x. Okay, sorry, ekdam. So this is sin of x by cos. Yes, this is sin of x by cos of x. Okay, sin of x by cos of x. Now you can see that in between this minus pi or pi, कौन सा पॉइंट में cos x 0 है, बोलो, in which point cos x 0?
Cos 90.
Cos
ना cos
90.
0.
That means cos pi by 2 का वैल्यू क्या है, 0.
cos pi by
0.
देखो, so in between this pi and pi, minus pi and pi, there is cos pi by 2 in which this tan function is not defined, and this is the problematic point. That's why tan function is not continuous everywhere, like the sine or cos function. If this is sine or cos function, then you not actually, then you don't have to check anything. You can directly write down that this is a trigonometric function of sine type, or this is a sine function, so this is continuous and differentiable everywhere. If this is cos function, that means this is continuous and differentiable everywhere. But if it is tan function or cot function or sec function or cosec function, then you have to check, is there any point in which this function is undefined? Is there any point? अगर होगा तो Rolle's theorem फेल कर जाएगा, ठीक है? But if we use the interval this from 0 to pi by 4, if you use this interval, okay, then you can see that there is no problem. Is there any problem? 0 to pi by 4, because in between this 0 to pi by 4 there is no point for which cos x 0. कोई पॉइंट है क्या 0 से pi by 4 तक cos x 0 होगा?
no sir.
So that means Rolle's theorem verification actually depends on the interval. The problem changes with the interval, not the function. Function एक ही रहेगा, interval change तो problem change हो जाएगा. So be careful whenever you take the trigonometric function. So trigonometric function sin cos तक ठीक है, मगर tan sec cosec cot ये आ गया. So check the interval. Is there any point which is problematic? Okay, is it clear now? So
Yes.
for this type of function, particularly for this function, actually so these are continuous and differentiable at their domain, at their own domain. Okay, at their own domain. देखिए उन लोगों का जो डोमेन है, ये जो डोमेन, दिस इज द डोमेन, ये डोमेन में कंटिन्यूअस, अदरवाइज नॉट. बाहर नहीं। ओके, आई थिंक इट्स नाउ ओके।
ओके।
हाँ ठीक है, तो एक प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पर आ गया, एक क्वेश्चन था जिसको मैंने यहाँ पर ले लिया। ठीक है, तो एक 1 मिनट, न्यू स्लाइड, ओपन, then there is one problem here, not this. Okay, this is control X, and okay, now we already solved that problem now in our previous class. Okay, so it is left for your homework. In the, I think, is there anyone for who I have to discuss that, or I will leave that to you? Is there anyone?
So leave that.
Okay, so I already did that in our previous class, so I left that to you to solve. Then we comes to the next problem, and which is, so actually at the end there are 2 points ना, f dash c, अच्छा f dash c तक complete हो गया था ना, problem हो गया था? Is this completed?
Yes, sir.
पूरा
हो गया,
प्रॉपर्ली
हो गया।
कंप्लीट हो गया था।
ऐसा कंप्लीट
Okay, okay. So now we take the next problem. Verify the Rolle's theorem for the function f of x equal to mod of x on minus 1 1. बोलो, is it satisfy Rolle's theorem or not? I already discussed that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this is
নয় মনে হচ্ছে।
No, because
নয় স্যার।
because actually it fails to
No.
differentiation. Actually, it fails at the differentiation. Continuity, okay, it satisfies the continuity, but in between the minus 1 to 1, okay, this function is not differentiable in this point minus 1 1. So f of x is not differentiable at x equal to what? 0, and which is in the interval minus 1 to 1. So Rolle's theorem is not verified, okay, or will not satisfy. So Rolle's theorem will not satisfy for this reason, because this f of x is not differentiable at the point x equal to 0, and which is in the interval minus 1 to 1. Okay, now comes to our next problem, and I left that to all of you. Just take your paper and pen and solve that problem. Verify the Rolle's theorem for this function f of x equal to sine of x plus cos of x minus 1. Okay, start that function, and you have to write something in the past, and I discuss first, and then you will find the c value. So first you have to write this sin of x, इस तरह से यहाँ पर लिखना है, sin of x comma cos of x and comma 1, all these functions are continuous, all continuous on which interval? 0 to pi by 2 na? So because this is a sine function, this is a cos function, and this is a polynomial function. Now sum and subtraction of continuous function is also continuous na? Continuous function is also continuous.
यस सर।
यानी कि ये दो फंक्शन अगर कंटिन्यूअस होगा, so their sum will be also continuous, and here so sin x plus cos x continuous, and also 1 is a continuous function, that means sin x plus cos x minus 1 is also a continuous function. So sum and subtraction, everything of a continuous function will be continuous. Not only continuous, so sum and subtraction of a differentiable function is also what? Differentiable. And here you can see that this sin x cos x 1 are not only continuous but also differentiable at the interval, and differentiable at the open interval what? 0 to pi by 2 होगा ना, क्योंकि तो एवरीवेयर है, कोई भी चेक करने की जरूरत नहीं है, sine, cos 1. These are everywhere continuous and differentiable function. So the first and second condition satisfied. Now I left it to you to find the f0, f pi by 2 and check that is that values are equal, and then find the value of c for which the function will give you f dash c is equal to 0. Find that. Okay.
Okay.
Just find that value and tell me what values are coming.
স্যার এফ অফ এ আর এফ অফ বি এর সমান হচ্ছে না।
Check that carefully.
স্যার এফ অফ 0 আসছে আর এফ অফ পাই বাই 2 ও তো 0 আসছে
একদম. So obviously f of 0
হ্যাঁ।
will be cos of 0. Oh, not for sine, na?
Sin 0
Okay, sine of 0
সাইন
plus cos of 0
হ্যাঁ।
cos of 0
minus
minus
1.
1
Then
minus
Cos
sine 0 0 cos 0 1
1
minus 1 is equal to 0.
and
Right, na?
1 equal to 0
হ্যাঁ।
F of pi by 2.
0
Pi by 2
আর
means
pi by
cos
2
pi by 2 is sine of pi
sin
by 2.
9
Cos of pi by
হ্যাঁ।
2.
sin 9 হ্যাঁ
So sine 91 cos 90 0
স্যার 1 0 minus 1
is equal to again 0.
equal to
So
0
that means f of 0 is equal to f of pi by 2. So the third condition also satisfied. So 1, 2, 3, all the conditions are satisfied. So f of x is equal to sine of x plus cos of x minus 1 satisfies all the condition of the Rolle's theorem, na? Of the Rolle's theorem. That means there exists a point C belongs to the interval 0 to pi by 2. यानी कि इसके अंदर एक पॉइंट C तो ऐसा रहेगा for which your f dash C will be 0, है ना? There exists at least one point. Now we have to find that point f dash C is equal to 0. So find that. So f dash x पहले ये find करो, particular value of f dash x. Find that. What is the value of f dash x?
Sir, cos x minus sin x.
Okay, so this is cos of x minus sin of x, and it is given that f dash c is equal to 0. So that means cos of c minus sin of c is equal to 0. So that means what? Cos c is equal to sin c. है ना? So cos c is equal to sin c. That means sin c by cos c 1. That means tan c is equal to what? 1. Okay.
C is equal to pi by 2 আসছে
Pi by 2
is equal to
পাই বাই 4 স্যার পাই বাই
pi by
4 আসছে
pi by 4.
স্যার pi by 4 আসছে pi by 4
tan of
Pi by
pi by
4.
4. So that means c is equal to pi by 4. Okay. So now you can see that this pi by 4 is in between what? 0 to pi by 2. इसके अंदर ही है ना? 0 pi by 2 के बीच में.
হ্যাঁ
So that means there exists a point C. So we have to find the C. So now we can say that the value of C is equal to pi by 4. So there exists C is equal to pi by 4 belongs to the interval 0 to pi by 2 for which जिसके लिए f dash C is equal to what? 0. So this is the value of C of pi by 4, and we verify that this belongs to in this interval 0 to pi by 2, and this verifies the Rolle's theorem. Okay, this verifies the Rolle's theorem. So this is the way how you can verify the Rolle's theorem. Okay, so now
okay
is there any problem? नहीं है ना?
No, sir.
no
Okay.
no sir
So now we come to the second problem and try to find that. Okay, try to find that. This is another function. This is exponential type function. So first you can take the product of these two parts, x square plus 3 of x into e to the power minus x by 2 and in the interval minus 3 to 0. देख लो एक बार. So continuity differentiability actually already holds because the first function is of which type? This is a polynomial function, na?
Polynomial function, then it is then e is equal to exponential function, তো এগুলো স্যার এ হবে।
This is exponential function. Now this is continuous and
Yes,
differentiable, and this is also continuous and differentiable. And we know
Yes,
that
sir.
product of two continuous and differentiable function is also continuous and differentiable. So this is the product, na? So product of two continuous and differentiable function is also continuous and differentiable. So that's why these two functions are differentiable and continuous everywhere in this interval minus 3 and 0. Now just we have to check the endpoint value and we have to find the c value. So let's start and find the endpoint value. That means you have to check f of minus 3 and you have to check f0. Check these two values.
স্যার দুখানা ভ্যালু স্যার ইজ ইকুয়াল টু আসবে, দুখানে তো 0 আসছে।
Obviously. So f of minus 3 से क्या होगा, देखो यहाँ से क्या होगा, यहाँ से 0 हो जाएगा. If you put x equal to minus 3 here, that means this term will give you 0, ना?
প্রচুর
And
সমস্যা হচ্ছে নেটওয়ার্কে।
actually एक कॉल आया था तो इसलिए नेटवर्क डिस्टरबेंस हुआ. आई थिंक अब ठीक हो जाएगा.
ঠিক আছে স্যার, ঠিক আছে।
Okay. So I am using mobile network. So whenever someone calls me, actually the network interrupted. So that's why this type of problem occur. Because college, the condition of college network is very bad. College Wi-Fi. So now f of minus 3, actually this is minus 3 into the value minus 3 plus 3 into e to the power minus of minus 3 by 2, and you can see that this will give you 0. And similarly, if you put 0 here, then 0 and then 0 plus 3 and e to the power minus of 0 by 2, so it will also give you 0 for the first term. That means your f of minus 3 is equal to f of 0, and this both term will give you 0. So third condition is also satisfied. So this is the condition. This is condition 1 and 2, and this is the third condition, and so all the conditions are satisfied. So now what you have to check, you have to find the f dash x, no? Just find the f dash x. I think Saurabh sir discussed the differentiation na in the induction program. Now you all know how to differentiate a function of the product type. Just use the UV rule to find the product differentiation of the function.
সেটা হচ্ছে স্যার e টু দি পাওয়ার মাইনাস 3/2 into 2x plus
Hey,
3 plus
this is x by 2. What 3 by 2? This is minus x by 2. Nah, this is your u function and this is your v function.
sorry sir
Yes.
e to the power minus x by 2 into 2x plus 3 plus e to the power minus x by 2
Okay.
into x square plus 3x equal to
First we return that function. Okay. So e to the power minus x by 2. We return that function and calculate the derivative of the first function. That means we get 2x plus 3, and then we return the first function, which is x square plus of 3 of x, and we take the derivative of the second part, and which will give e to the power minus of x by 2, and again from the chain rule we have to calculate the derivative of the x by 2, and which is what, minus 1 by 2, na? Is it right?
Yes, sir. Minus 1 by 2.
Minus 1 by 2, and this is from chain rule. Then you can take that minus e to the power minus x by 2 outside. That means e to the power minus x by 2, and you get some 2x plus 3 and minus of x square plus of 3 of x by 2. That means you have e to the power minus of x by 2 into, and after I think some students are calling because I am not allowing there to join the class. Actually, this is the problem. They want to join after 50 minutes or 60 minutes after one period, and they are calling now. That what is the problem? So e to the power, this is e to the power minus x by 2, and what is the term after calculating that? Someone tell me what is the term?
2x square plus 6
So
minus
2
x
means,
square
देखो
plus
yeah, this is 4x plus 3 to 6,
4x.
and minus this is
4x
x square
plus 6.
minus 3x. Yeah.
हाँ,
That means here you have minus x square and plus x plus 6
plus 6 by 2.
by 2 into here you have e to the power minus x by 2. Okay. So now f dash c0, f dash c0 means what f dash c? f dash c is equal to this minus of, so माइनस को बाहर ले लेते हैं और यहाँ पर एक्स स्क्वायर की जगह पर क्या लिखेंगे, सी स्क्वायर, एक्स हो जाएगा माइनस सी, एंड 6 जो है एक्चुअली ये 6 है, जैसे लिख देते नहीं तो सी लगेगा 6, एंड दिस इज माइनस 6 हो जाएगा ना, प्लस नहीं, माइनस बाहर ले लिया तो माइनस 6 एंड इनटू e to the power minus x by 2 by 2, यहाँ पर अलग से लेते हैं. So this is the f dash c value. Is it right to everyone? Is it right to everyone? Okay.
Say e to the power minus c by 2.
Oh no, yes, sorry. Oh, it is minus c by 2. Sorry, it is minus. Yes, it is minus c by 2 by 2. Okay, now it is given, actually it is equal to what? 0. This is 0. So actually now exponential function never 0. Will never give the value 0, na? Actually the exponential function, out of the exponential function is this way. This is the curve of exponential function. That means e to the power x is always what? Greater than 0. That means range of the function start after the 0. It will never give you 0 value. So that's why the second part will not 0. So obviously the first part will be 0. That is c square minus c minus 6 will be 0. Okay, now just take the middle term factorization and give me the value of c. What is the value of c? Calculate the middle term factorization and give me
3 at 2.
3 and 2, no, 3 and minus 2. Check it.
3 and minus 2.
Okay. So this is 3 and minus 2. So this is c square minus 6 equal to 0. And after taking the middle term factorization, actually it will give c minus 3 and c plus 2 is equal to 0. And which will give c is equal to 3 and c is equal to minus 2. Now what is our interval in the previous problem? Interval, what is our interval? The interval for the problem is minus 3 to 0, no? Minus 3 to 0. So this is the interval minus 3 to 0, but actually 3 lies outside the interval, but minus c lies inside the interval. That means we have one point which is in that interval and which will give the derivative equal to 0. Actually we have to verify that. यही तो हमको एक्चुअली हम चाहते थे कि एक पॉइंट आ जाए -3 से लेकर 0 के अंदर, जिसके लिए f dash c क्या हो जाए, 0 हो जाए. मगर यहाँ पर point 3 lies outside the interval, but in between this interval we have c is equal to minus 2, which actually follows this. So we can write down that. So we have c is equal to minus 2 belongs to the interval minus 3 to 0, for which f dash c is equal to what? 0. Am I right? That means at the point x equal to minus 2, tangent drawn at the curve is parallel to x-axis, है ना? Parallel to x-axis. This is the geometric interpretation. यानी कि ये जो फंक्शन जो था हमारा, सपोज दिस इज द फंक्शन बिटवीन द इंटरवल 0 से लेकर 3 तक, तो 0 में वैल्यू क्या आया, 0 आया, और -3 में भी 0. सपोज दिस इज आवर फंक्शन. तो 0 में भी 0 एंड -3 में भी 0 और नॉट दिस इज +3, तो इधर ले जाओ फंक्शन को लेफ्ट साइड में. सो सपोज दिस इज द फंक्शन का पिक्चर. अगर हम एज्यूम कर रहे हैं दैट मीन 0 में भी फंक्शन का वैल्यू 0 है, -3 में भी 0 है. So we have one point, just one point. So here actually we have more than one point, but we will get one point in that interval. In this way, in that interval, in which the tangent drawn at the parallel, and this point is what? X equal to -2. So x equal to -2 एक पॉइंट आएगा जहां पर टेंजेंट क्या होगा, पैरेलल टू एक्स एक्सिस हो जाएगा. और एक पॉइंट आया है, वो पॉइंट क्या था, 3 में. यानी कि फंक्शन जब 3 में जाएगा तब भी फंक्शन का ग्राफ कुछ इस तरह का हो सकता है, कि इस तरह का हो सकता है जहां पर 3 में भी एक पॉइंट आएगा जहां पर पैरेलल क्या होगा, एक्स एक्सिस होगा. अगर ये हमको नहीं पता क्योंकि हमारे इंटरवल में नहीं है तो हमें नहीं चाहिए. बट we want to get one point only in which this condition holds, and we get one point, and the point is -2, in which the function is parallel to the x-axis. Okay. So if you have any doubt up to now, previous page. Okay. Okay. Say that.
Okay, sir, done.
Okay. So now there are some problems for all of you for your homework. Okay, and these are the problems for practice of Rolle's theorem. For each problems, you have to verify the Rolle's theorem is that holds or not. For some of the function, it will hold the Rolle's theorem, and for some of the function, it will fail. And you have to identify for which function it will fail and for which function it will hold for the Rolle's theorem, and with the proper reason, not of yes no type. Okay, you have to solve that problem in this way, which I did in the earlier problem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
And sir,
Yes.
sir, yesterday at the start of the class, did you mention any book? Like, did you refer some book for practice?
Actually, there are a book, and a very good book actually, for Satra publication. There is a fundamental engineering mathematics. Okay. You can search that in your Google. Actually, I don't remember actual form. I think the form is fundamental or fundamental or foundation होगा, कुछ इस तरह का रहेगा. इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स पब्लिकेशन इज छात्रा. ओके.
Okay.
And the writers of Jana Kaur. Okay. Jana Kaur or engineering mathematics, either of fundamental engineering mathematics or foundation of engineering mathematics. I think fundamental होगा, ठीक से मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा है. सो यही लिख लो, गूगल में सर्च करोगे छात्रा पब्लिकेशन जाना कौर तो आ जाएगा. एंड दिस इज अ वेरी गुड बुक फॉर योर मैथमेटिक्स 1 syllabus. And from the college, everyone will be provided by a books, and the writer will be Daspal. Okay, and this will be given from the college. Whenever you collect your book from the library, your dress and books, I think from next week, for every department, one date will be given to collect the library card, collect the library books, and for collecting your dress. For every department, I think one date will be given. And from the library, this book will be given, Daspal, and there is a full syllabus of the mathematics 1, not only this Rolle's theorem or the calculus portion, but for reference, this Satra book is very important, very good books actually. And most of the exam problem followed from these books. This is standard books. Okay, so fundamental लिख देते हैं, maybe that's wrong, engineering mathematics. Okay.
Sir, writer's name was Jana Kaur.
जाना कौर, राइटर नेम इज जाना कौर. इससे आपको, इससे सर्च करो, मिल जाएगा, अमेजोन में भी अवेलेबल है. ओके.
ओके सर.
फंडामेंटल इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स इस तरह का कुछ होगा, एंड फॉर आईटी एंड कुछ डिपार्टमेंट के लिए लिखा हुआ है, आल्सो एप्लीकेबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू, एंड विथ फॉलोइंग द मैकआउट सिलेबस. And in our autonomy syllabus, there are some other part and which will not covered, you will not get in on that book. But this book is very good for the calculus portion. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
तो ये हो गया तो आपका होमवर्क. तो you can follow any standard books for the राइटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स, किस तरह से लिखना है, उस स्टैंडर्ड के लिए कोई भी स्टैंडर्ड बुक फॉलो कर सकते हो। पर अगर जेई के कोई बुक होगा आप लोगों के पास फॉर द जेई प्रिपरेशन, आई थिंक दिस इज ऑल्सो अवेलेबल, दिस रोल्स थ्योरम, लैग्रेंज थ्योरम ऑल्सो अवेलेबल इन दोज बुक्स। अगर आपके पास कोई भी जेई प्रिपरेशन का बुक्स है,
পাথফাইন্ডার যখন কোচিং এর পাথফাইন্ডারের বুকগুলো আছে ওখানে।
अच्छा अच्छा, एक्चुअली दिस इज फ्रॉम द जेई सिलेबस, तो
হ্যাঁ
जेई सिलेबस में है, जेई सिलेबस
হ্যাঁ
का
হ্যাঁ
कोई भी
হ্যাঁ
बुक्स फॉलो करोगे ये आ जाएगा वहां से। ओके, सो नाउ
হ্যাঁ
आई
স্যার
एम, यस यस,
স্যার তপন কুমার কর আর শুভজিৎ জানা।
হ্যাঁ एकदम एकदम, तपन कुमार कौर, बुक्स का नेम बोलो, पार्टिकुलरली नेम्स बोलो क्या है।
স্যার बीटेक এর বি ফান্ডামেন্টাল ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং ম্যাথমেটিক্স
Okay,
সিএসসি এন্ড আইটি সাঁতরা
CSC
सेमेस्टर 1।
सो पार्टिकुलरली फॉर सीएससी आईटी के लिए लिखा हुआ है, तो सबके लिए हो जाएगा, ये एक ही सिलेबस है मैकआउट का सिलेबस, मैथमेटिक्स 1 का। सो फंडामेंटल इंजीनियरिंग
एज
मैथमेटिक्स,
पर लेटेस्ट
यस
एज पर लेटेस्ट एआईसीटी करिकुलम।
एकदम एज पर लेटेस्ट एआईसीडी करिकुलम। तो ये बुक एक्चुअली दिस ए वेरी गुड बुक टू फॉलो अप, ठीक है। तो फंडामेंटल इंजीनियरिंग मैथमेटिक्स,
एआईसीटी बीएससी 105 और मार्कआउट
ओके,
बीएस
और कुछ
एम
नहीं चाहिए, ठीक है,
101।
हो गया, और कुछ नहीं चाहिए। तो नेम और राइटर, जो पब्लिक जो राइटर है वही सफिशिएंट है बुक को सर्च करने के लिए। और आई थिंक इसका वो प्राइस भी 300 से 400 के बीच में होगा,
356।
356, ज्यादा इसका प्राइस भी नहीं है। ओके, सो ये वाला प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा। इफ देयर इज एनी प्रॉब्लम सो वी विल डिस्कस इन आवर नेक्स्ट क्लास। ये इस सारे प्रॉब्लम से अगर कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आएगा तो बोलना, नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम डिस्कस करेंगे। ओके, देन वी कम्स टू अनदर टाइप्स ऑफ, ओके, फर्स्ट आई विल सेंड द अटेंडेंस लिंक, देन वी विल डिस्कस अनदर टाइप्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम। पहले अटेंडेंस भेज देते हैं, आप लोग अटेंडेंस दे दो, ठीक है, लिंक दे देते हैं।
ওকে স্যার।
1 मिनट, अटेंडेंस लिंक देता हूं। Okay, everyone please give your response to the attendance form. Okay, and it is available up to 5 p.m. After that no response will be recorded in this form, so you can take a copy of that form and you can also fill that later. Okay, but after 5 p.m. it is not possible because the form is auto set it to close after 5 p.m. And one thing more, I will give every PDF or every page of that presentations like the yesterday's class in your group, so that's why no need to take any snapshot of that screen. Okay, just concentrate on the class, everything will be provided to you, and just take the notes what I say, just get the calculation. Okay, so we come to another types of problem, and it is different from the previous problem, just like a different nature's problem. You can see that. And what is given? Okay, सबका हो गया अटेंडेंस है ना?
सी
Yes. Tell me what you want to speak.
স্যার এখানে স্যার সিটা তো দিয়ে দিয়েছে আমাকে,
एकदम सीटा दिए दिए
তাহলে হ্যাঁ
also A भी दे
স্যার
दिया
তাহলে আমরা
है.
যেমন করি মানে এফ এ
Okay, holds the Rolle's theorem, that means we don't have to verify. Okay, verify नहीं करना है, Rolle's theorem satisfied बोल रहा है. Now concentrate on the condition of the Rolle theorem. First of all, what? F of A, यानी F of 1 will be F of 3. होगा ना? If the Rolle theorem satisfied, then obviously F of 1 will be F of 3. And second condition is F dash C will be what? 0. Okay.
0.
So we have two variables, and to determine that A and B, we want two equations from which we can eliminate. We can use the elimination method to find A and B, and these two are the conditions from which we formulate our equation. Okay. So first of all, since Rolle's theorem hold, that means this condition will hold. That means F of 1 will be F of 3. Find the value of F of 1. What is the value of F of 1? 1 cube. है ना? 1
1
cube
plus B
B into 1 square
A
plus
plus
A into 1. That means 1
A
plus
plus
A plus B.
B plus A.
है ना? 1 plus B plus A. And then what is the value of 3? F of 3 is equal to
plus 9B plus
27 plus 9B plus
3 square
plus 3A.
A into 3. That means this is 3 cube means 27 plus 9B and here plus 3A.
Plus
And
3A.
by the given condition, these will be equal. That F of 1 will be F of 3, and it implies that 1 plus B plus A will be equal to what?
Is equal to
27 plus 9B plus 3A. So if you take everything in the one side, what? First A को कर लेते हैं.
yeah, right side 3 common ले 1 plus
और no, एक बात देख लो. पहले हम हर एक चीज को एक साइड में लेंगे, एक साइड में. That means 3A minus A, what is 2A? Then 9B minus B, that means what? 8B.
8B.
And 27 minus 1, this is plus 26, is equal to 0. Then just take 2 outside and you will get A plus 4B plus 13,
plus
is equal to what? 0. So ये एक equation आ गया. This is equation number 1. And then we take the second case, F dash C, and to do that we have to find F dash X. Calculate the F dash X. What is the F dash X?
Yes, sir.
3 of X square.
3 X square. 2 of 2BX plus A.
Plus A. Okay. Now we have to find C at the point 2, 1 by root 3. That means F dash of 2 plus 1 by root 3. This is equal to what? 0. Okay. तो इसको कैलकुलेट करना है, ये बात, इसको हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे. यहाँ पर करते हैं कैलकुलेट, हमको ज्यादा जगह लगेगा. F of 2 plus 1 by root 3 is equal to 0. That means what? 3 into 2 plus 1 by root 3
the whole square
plus 2B
plus 2
into 2 plus 1 by root 3 and plus A is equal to 0. Now expand that. 3 into 2 square means 4.
4
plus
1 by 3
2AB, that means 2 into 2, 4 by root 3. Yeah, right? Then 1 by 3 plus 2B.
4
यहाँ तो डायरेक्ट कैलकुलेशन कर दे. 4B plus 2B by root 3 plus A will be 0. Okay. Then what? 3 for 12 plus 3 for 12 by 3
plus 3 by 2 1
plus 4B plus 2B by root 3 plus A will be 0. Okay. So that means you have অন্য রুমে দাও, 12:50 হয়ে যাবে. Then that means here you have 4B. If we
দেখতে পাচ্ছি না.
Okay, is that visible? Is that visible?
না
নিচের লেখাগুলো দেখা যাচ্ছে না.
নিচের লাইনটা দেখাই যাচ্ছে না.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, নিচের দিকে লেখাগুলো দেখা যাচ্ছে না.
Okay. Is now that visible here? Okay. So actually from the next line we have 2 of A, that means 12 1 A plus 4 of B plus 1. Take that part in the one side and then this part into another side, that means 12 by root 3 plus 2b by root 3 in the another
2 by
part,
3.
0. Now, actually, this part is
হ্যাঁ
so if you take 0 here,
হ্যাঁ
that means 12 by root
0
3 plus 2b by root 3 will be 0. So now take
হ্যাঁ
2
root
by
3
root 3
12
common. That means 16. You have 6 and plus b
হ্যাঁ
is equal to 0. So 6 plus b
0
is equal to 0. That means b is equal to what? Minus 6.
is
Now you know
minus
b
6
is
হ্যাঁ
equal to minus 6. That means 58. So a is equal to, you can find that from this equation, from this one equation.
হ্যাঁ
Now that means a is equal to minus 13 minus 4b. यानी कि minus of minus plus 24. देख लो एक बार. Okay.
11 a is equal to 11 হ্যাঁ
एकदम. So
হ্যাঁ
value of a, now your value of a is equal to 11 and your value of b is equal to minus. Okay, is that clear to you?
হ্যাঁ
Okay.
Okay, sir. Clear.
So there are
Yes, sir.
another problem for your homework. I will give that. So this is the problem and I will give that in this PDF. Okay, so try that problem. We will discuss that in our next class. So that's all for today's class. I am leaving now. Thank you all for attending the class.